Happy homecoming week, everybody. Great news. Happy Valley Live is open here at 1301 College Avenue, and no better time to come enjoy a couple of beers than right at this moment. I'm not even doing the intros. If you're new here, thank you for being with us. You'll figure it out. You be quiet. Go.
Letterman first.
Oh, I've talked to tens of Lettermen already, and I haven't heard a single good thing from any of them. Everybody's incredibly disappointed. There's, it's grim right now. It's grim. That was, I've said it with Booch, that was the worst loss in Penn State football history. I stand by that. It could not be worse. UCLA was the worst team in Power 4 football. That was embarrassing and everything in between. Yeah, anybody involved should be embarrassed. I'll leave it at that.
And I'm sorry James Franklin followed you. He did that to me 6 years ago, so I'm way ahead of you, buddy. It was an organizational failure that I don't think we can quite wrap our heads around, right? So I'm at peace. I think people expect us to be mad and bang the tables. We did that for Oregon. Because it's, Oregon was like, all right, it's the same old shit. 10-2, this is our ceiling, whatever. This is different. And this is different than I think any other loss in his tenure. It's not Minnesota sneaking up on you. It's not those Michigan States. It's not an up-and-coming Illinois with a great coach that sneaks up on you. UCLA was the worst. Yeah. Yeah, good going.
That
buddy.
was a dark moment.
And hey, this is good for you. Now you no longer have the worst loss.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
UCLA is possibly the worst team in Power 4 football. They could go 1-11. They did not have a coach. Their offensive coordinator could not figure out how to use the headset to call plays. They lost to New Mexico, right? They lost to 2 group of 5 teams before they played us. It's not like any other loss. It's not like any other loss. And I know, we're united now, right? I'm at peace because now we know. And
it was clarifying. That's why we're at peace, because there has been so much conflict about the state and the direction of the program. The fan base increasingly had been divided against itself. And now I feel like they're not, because the level of outrageous absurdity of losing as the preseason number 2 with everything you brought back to, as you said, statistically, the worst team in Power 4. It just lets us know that it's been a fun ride, and thanks for the memories, and now it's over.
And I hate saying that because I'm willing. It's tragic to me, right? Because I like the man.
Happy homecoming, everyone. Happy homecoming.
I like the man. I think he's in it for the right reasons. I think he's got us to a place that we did not think we would get this quickly. I think when he leaves, the infrastructure will still be here for success, and I give him credit for that. And I'm sad that it's not going to work out here for that guy, because I do like it. He's going to go in the College Hall of Fame one day wearing a Penn State polo, just like Rip Angle did, just like Bob Higgins did, just like Hugo Bezdek did, just like Joe Paterno did. And I want to remember the good stuff too. But there's never been a loss like this, ever. I mean, ever. And it's a failure from top to bottom. It's a failure. It's not just, there's very few apologists left. Of course, the guy you would expect in the media is going to be an apologist. Well, what about Tony Rojas? Well, what about Nico? He played well. Well, what about there's no whatabouts. Any reaction you have to this game is not an overreaction. They are historically
that team stinks.
Bad.
Yeah, there's places you can go if you want to feel good about that game in some way, shape, or form.
And don't have a paywall. Go to the place without a paywall.
Yeah, no, definitely don't pay for that. I think you look at it, you weren't even close to ready for the game. You come out. I think everybody expected. When everybody saw the stat that UCLA had yet to lead, I think we all knew what was coming. We knew it was coming. But you followed it up with the onside kick blunder. I don't understand how that's even possible. And then you go into just a flurry of horrific, not only coaching decisions, but lack of willingness to change when things are going wrong, specifically the Penn State defense. I don't understand. Nico has 125 rushing yards on 5 scrambles at this point, and you still have not put a QB spy out there. The first time you do it, it is 275-pound Dennis Sutton, who has horrible change of direction. That's not on him. That's we know what he is. That is on the coaches for putting him out there. How is Chaz Coleman or Zakee Wheatley not in that position? Coaching malpractice, the Nick and Katron situation. James Franklin said in his press conference on Monday that they talked about it before the game that they needed to get Katron Allen involved. And you didn't do it.
Why would you say that after the fact when there are hard numbers to bear out that you didn't do it? Why would you come out and even if that's true, just lie and say anything else other than we planned to do it, we just didn't do it. And that, I guess, Landon, keep your powder dry. Beloved campus icon. We're going to plug your book in a couple of minutes. So just you be quiet a little bit longer.
Okay.
I'm trying to save you from the mob.
Thank you.
All right. But from the personnel management to the game situational management to roster management, you talk about who's going to spy Nico, who has been terrible. I feel bad for the UCLA fans. UCLA fans, for the Tennessee fans who were like, please expose this guy and make a fool of him for not only clowning our program, but clowning the sport of college football this offseason. And in comes Penn State with the worst prepared team I have seen since Penn State played Oregon the week before. And we let them look like a Heisman Trophy candidate. Inexcusable, ridiculous. But you talk about who's going to spy Nico. 8 linebackers on the roster, taking up spots, using scholarships, 4- and 5-star recruits. And Dom DeLuca, God love him, great kid who has made a ton of impact plays for Penn State, was just having the worst game of his career. And you didn't feel comfortable trying any one of those guys who is being pursued by all the other top programs in the country. I can conclude one of only 2 things. You whiffed repeatedly on damn near 10% of your roster who's on scholarship, and none of them was ready to go into that game. Or you're so timid, so risk averse, that even with everything on the line, you just keep trying what you've been doing that isn't working. Either one.
I think that's where
either one is malpractice.
I think that's where we're at with this program right now. It's don't mess up, and that's really been the biggest issue. And I think people are starting to talk about, hey, is the 1-0 mentality, is it too small-minded almost? I think
it's turning into an 0-1 mentality. But listen, I got to get us out of this segment, and I have been very cruel to the most beloved icon on this set, although you're coming hard and fast after him. Mike The Mailman, we're excited for your book. Go.
Thank you. Well, I think Landy hit on something. I think Penn State, the coaching staff should think about the season, not 1-0. I think the 1-0 is old now. I think you got to think about the whole season more than anything.
Are you out, Mike? Are you out?
I'm in.
Okay.
I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news, Penn State has 7 games in front of them that they can control. That's the good news. And the bad news, Penn State has 7 games in front of them they can control.
Yeah.
That's it.
I got to tell you, I was
Mike The Mailman coming in hot.
I was sitting at the bar in Pasadena, right, and I'm feeling a number of emotions. I was not angry, Chris. I wasn't angry. We going down to the half, 27-7, and I'm with guys who have been to every game with me for the last 20 years, home and away, for the most part. And I told them we're about a coin flip probably to win then in our minds, although running out of possessions quickly. I'm like, we're about to watch in this mostly empty stadium, the most important stadium in the history of college football. We are about to watch potentially the end of this era, right? We're in the spot where probably the best moment in James Franklin's career has occurred, and we're about to probably watch this era end. And so let's just sit back and take it in. And it was a very soothing, sort of sublime moment, with the mountains over the stadium, and we finally got seats in the shade, thank God. I was at peace. I was at peace.
Same.
I was at peace until after the game, we walked down to downtown Pasadena and I see that Mike the Mailman released his book that day. That day. I get a notification from your Facebook that you had released your book that day. And I said,
But I thought Penn State needed that at that time.
well, then I had
Well, pick me up.
That's exactly right.
I had about 4 more beers and I bought multiple copies,
Oh, thank you.
which I tried to cancel, but they already shipped it. So
I was right here at the now open Happy Valley Live. Awesome place to come. Probably drown your sorrows. Maybe at the bare minimum, celebrate a win on homecoming. Also at peace. And I myself, Mike, have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is it is probably going to get worse before it gets better. The good news is we're coming right back. Stay with us.
Illinois is fun, man. They know how to drink there. By far, the weirdest thing, I learned a new tradition. It's called icing out, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell
It's called icing out. You grab the ice, you throw it on the ground, and you chug your drink
And why do we do that?
for fun.
Okay, that's
All right, let's do it.
So you take the cup of a mixed drink, a cocktail like this Russian, and you put your bare hand in it, and you take out all the ice, and you throw it on the floor, and you say, cheers to old Illinois, and then you chug it. Right? So all the bars that are not like, all the undergraduate bars at least have this they have like 2 feet of water on the floor. Disgusting. Like green, icy water.
So you get hoof and mouth disease.
I had to throw my shoes in the washing machine because they were blue and stinky and disgusting. I mean, it is not a good tradition.
The obligatory PSU pregame show is brought to you by Gold Hen Bloody Mary Mix. Get your bottle today by going to goldhenllc.com. Use the promo code Mailman to get 10% off your order. That's me, the Mailman. That's great. Thanks.
Welcome back, folks, to the obligatory PSU pregame show. We're here to give you all the catharsis that you need through thick and thin. We will be with you, and we appreciate you being here with us on the For the Bloggy YouTube channel. We're at Happy Valley Live at 1301 East College Avenue, now open. Come on down and check it out when you are in town, or if you're a local here with us. We appreciate it. We'd love to see you here. Thanks to Gold Hen Bloody Mary Mix, sponsor this segment. Check them out at goldhenllc.com. And if you're of a mind and you want to save 10% and you want to feed Mike the Mailman's ego, use the promo code Mailman at checkout to save 10%. All right, let's dive right in with the elephant in the room. There have never been more or angrier or more unilateral calls for there to be a change at the head coaching position at Penn State. We already kind of touched on it a little bit in the last segment. Kevin, I think it is true that it gives neither one of us any pleasure, but I also think we are both aligned that this thing has run its course.
yeah, I've never seen the fan base so united, right? There's still a couple of Twitter eggs and there's still one media member who's going to be in his corner no matter what. Doesn't matter what he does. And it's not, I don't hate the man. It's not like that. And I'm willing, by the way, to give the man, every program is allowed to have a down year and you don't immediately take out the pitchforks, right? We've had those. 2018, you can discount 2020 if you want, but 2021 certainly.
Yep.
And it doesn't discount all the good that he's done here, right? I tweeted about this, like the divorces get ugly. And when you divorce someone, you forget about the reason you married them and all the good stuff that happened in that relationship. And I don't want that to happen with James Franklin. I don't. I know he feels very insecure about that, but I'm not going to forget New Year's Six games. I'm not. I refuse to. But it's in the context of the whole thing. It's in the context of the Oregon type games, the failure to beat your top tens. And I get the arguments that, there's some people that say that you can't even judge the man until Neely Bendapudi became president because there wasn't alignment. Now, I don't agree with that, but let's take that for what it's worth. You just can't lose to the worst team in Power 4. You just can't without any repercussions.
And look so uninspired and unprepared. And the divorce analogy is the right one, in my opinion. And when a relationship starts to go sour, which if we're being honest, and why I talk about why I was calm during the game and why I feel like we've finally been blessed with clarity, you kind of felt in your gut the relationship had been going sour for a while. What starts to happen is that creeps into every facet of what you do. And it is hard to watch this team that was under so much pressure, with so much scrutiny, so much to gain and so much to lose. And the way they've played the last 2 weeks in succession, it's hard for me not to attribute that to the disintegration of the relationship between coach and fan base. And it's a two-way street.
And before Landon jumps in, it is the expectations, right? And they were not. We picked them to go 10-2, Chris, right? We didn't expect this team to be a barn burner because I think largely the quarterback.
To be fair, I did say 12-0, but only because I was like, I got one more shot to do this. I got to pick us up.
But you know they're going to go 10-2. But Mike, it is one of the most veteran teams in college football. And somehow every player that returned is worse than they were last year.
Yes.
And
unfocused and unprepared.
And we touched on this in the last segment, right? James Franklin is like almost autistically a creature of habit, right? The want to know every minute is down to a science, right? The tweet goes out at 7 p.m. about going want to know.
Yeah.
The press conference starts this way. This happens this way. This happens this way. And that has given him a lot of success, obviously. For all the problems you have with the program now, you bought into the want to know stuff. You did. And you've told me that. And I wonder if that creates an inability or at least unwillingness when there's adversity to adapt. The fact that Nick Singleton has more carries this season than Kaytron Allen is it's not just fan speak. It's not just like these outsiders who don't know what's going on in the building. It's bullshit. It's malpractice. And when Dom DeLuca is just falling on his ass every single play, could not have played worse. Could not have played worse if he tried. Mike The Mailman would have had the same production as Dom DeLuca in that game.
I disagree. I've seen Mike. He takes solid angles. I think he would have at least made a couple of ankle stops. I believe in you, Michael.
What's the harm in putting in the backup in that situation? But they're unwilling to do it. They're unwilling to adapt. Right?
When you're checked out personally, that filters down through the rest of the organization. And I am trying to be real with folks as I have been the whole time. And as I said, give me no pleasure. I really don't enjoy it. Kevin, you and I have both been fed multiple shit burgers over the last decade for sticking up for the guy from people who've been out for years. And so always, I just call them as I see them. And right now, I see somebody who's checked out. And I'm going to let you go, Tengwall, but I'll give you something maybe to react to. I'm an Eagles fan, all right? And that, right now, you can say, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, that organization is among one of the best in the league. And it got that way in large part because of the tenure of Andy Reid. Won a lot of games. Changed the expectations in the Philadelphia Eagles organization. Since the parting of coach and team, both have enjoyed a lot of success. But when Andy got fired from Philly, it was because that thing had run its course. There were a lot of good times, some not so good, but it was over and it was time to part ways. And as I am watching all of this play out, with the expectations and hype of this season and the result on the field, and just his demeanor on the sideline and in press conferences, I see that it's time to part ways. It's over. I think the thing is just over.
Yeah, I think you run the risk right now of fully losing the locker room. I was obviously there in 2021, where I think there actually was some pretty good leadership on that team with PJ Mustipher, who went down at Iowa, Sean Clifford, Jair Brown. So there was some really good leadership there, some older guys. I think you run that risk.
By the way,
now.
all helped bring it back the next year.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the excitement of, you thought about that 2022 season where it was a little bit, not as much as this year, but a little bit more of that one more go around, and you go and you win the Rose Bowl. Like you said, it's probably James Franklin's most successful season outside of 2016, winning the Big Ten championship. So that felt pretty good. I worry about that and just kind of how downhill it goes. You have Iowa at night now. I don't know. I worry that this locker room is going to go downhill quickly because it is easy to get negative. It is easy to just sit there and be like, it's over. It's done. I'll say this about James Franklin. I think my view of this thing, I feel incredibly bad for Drew Aller. I've said that on Twitter. I think Drew Aller has not been put in a position not only to succeed, he has not been put in a position to develop. That's outside of James Franklin not winning the big one. That'll be my number 2 quandary with his time at Penn State, was his inability to develop Drew Aller, and really you could talk about quarterbacks in general. Drew Aller was it felt like to a degree was always babied, was kind of, hey, don't mess up, don't do this, try not to do that, just manage the game. And you clearly have a 5-star talent. We see how talented his arm is. And yes, I'm not absolving him of the missed throws that he has and the mistakes and the 3 game-losing interceptions. But I think that's all a byproduct of how he has been coached. His offensive coordinators have not been very good, frankly, and his wide receivers have been awful. I don't normally ever call someone out. Watching the tape, I'm sorry, against UCLA, I know he had the touchdown at the end. Kyron Hudson's effort was inexcusable. There was a reason Drew Aller had to take off so many times. The wide receivers not only put aside the effort, they were clamped down. They couldn't get off man pressure. I know we're talking big scheme right now, but I feel as though that is the number 2 overall failure here in his career. And like I said, like as Kevin said, deserves a ton of credit for bringing Penn State from the depths. I appreciate him for all of that and everything that he's done and built a great culture here. But yeah, that's where I stand.
Sometimes it just runs its course. And this is not the show. This is not the show I wanted to be making this week or ever. Mike the Mailman, this show is kind of made for this side of the table. I understand. What do you got?
Well, if you look over the last couple of years, I mean, Penn State has been so close so many times. It's unusual that a team, because announcers used to say, "What close you are, more than you lose, the closer you are to winning." They've been so close on so many different occasions of winning games, but they have not.
Just 3 of those games go different, Mike. Just maybe 2 of those games go different. What's a different 2? You beat Minnesota at Minnesota. You beat one of those Michigan States. You pull it out against Ohio State when you're up two scores in the 4th quarter. Just one of those or 2 of those go Penn State's way. This conversation isn't happening.
Oh, I agree. I can't figure out why they're one or 2.
I think that's the theme though of James Franklin's tenure here. If we're talking about James Franklin, is it's for the past 9 years, it's been if this one thing happened differently, how long can you do that for?
I just don't want to understate. This is not like those games. It's not. It's not. All of James Franklin's losses, take 14 and 15 out of the equation. I do. All of James Franklin losses have been to teams that at least have a pulse, that are either up and coming, they went to a bowl game, right? He's never lost to this kind of game before, which is to a team that is barely a team, right? Barely a team. And the first thing he says in the postgame press conference, well, the travel was long. That's the part that gets me. And I want to go back to Landon before you chime in, Mike. I'm going to put on my media hat from my journalism degree for a second, right?
Oh, so you have a journalism degree?
I sure do.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
Like any good lawyer. This man went to your house and he won you and your family over to such an extent that you're like, I'm going to trust this man with my college career. Obviously, you have personal affection for the guy somewhere in there. And you were in the arena. You played on this team. You played for this man. You won a lot of games. What emotionally for you? Because you don't go to the games. You're a journalist now. And we've known Noble forever. He's a letterman. He processes these kind of games differently than I think the fans do. The 3 of us do. How are you feeling in this moment for this guy that at least at one point in your life, even though he doesn't follow you on Twitter anymore, at one point in your life, you trusted more than any coach in the entire country to your career? Like what's like going through that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel sad for him. Like you said, I understand his feeling of putting yourself in James Franklin's shoes, and you say, look what I've done here, look what I've built, look how many times I've won 10 games or more in the past 3-4 seasons. And you do have to, if you, like I said, fully put yourself in his shoes. It's kind of like, damn, man, I finally dropped one bad one, and it's get him out of here. That's me fully going into James Franklin's shoes. I think.
Which is the problem, because inside his head, that's how he views it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't understand that it wasn't the Oregon loss. Some of the national media were talking about the Oregon loss as if it existed in a vacuum and not a 10-year body of evidence. I think you're right. I think in his head, He thinks, oh, I finally drop a bad one, as opposed to like 2017 Michigan State, 2018 Michigan State, 2019 Minnesota, 2021 Illinois. I'm sorry. And there are a bunch of others I could mention. It's the myopia and the victimhood complex. It is really about the psychology, and that's where I go back to the relationship that goes bad. You know, sometimes you just reach a point of no return, and no therapy and no intervention is going to fix it. And I don't know where it's going to go next. And I know we've got like 2/3 of a season left to litigate it. But as I sit here today, being real with the folks, as I've always tried to do in 10 dumb seasons of this profoundly stupid show, from the bottom of my heart, I just don't see a way back on this thing. And I think it's probably better for all involved to take the route of Andy Reid and the Birds back in the day.
It's devastating for me to say that. I'll let you chime in a sec, Mike. It's devastating to me because I'm scared of the unknown. I really am. I mean, the best argument that I've heard to keep them is like, well, who are you going to get this better? Now, I have a short list, of course. Whether we can get those people or not, I don't know. But
keep your powder dry. We got 2/3 of the season left to go.
I'm sad, and I know you're sad, Chris. This is sort of an end of an era for Penn State football. Yeah, I view stability so importantly, right? We had the same coach for 61 years. And Bill O'Brien was sort of a blip, but an important blip. And we've had this man, who's now one of the most tenured coaches in college football since that time, who has brought us some great memories. Many devastating ones, many more devastating ones than good ones, but still good ones. And I appreciate him for that. And I'm sad. You could easily be coming into the cycle. Everyone says Florida, Nebraska. You could easily get into the cycle where you're a new coach every 5 years, reset every 5 years.
Yeah.
We only get so many years on this earth, right? And to go through this process over and over and over again, to start this now, where if the coach doesn't work out, this happens. That's scary. I'm scared of that, right? I'm not one of those fans like, I embrace this. Let's just take a chance and take a risk and whatever. It doesn't work out, then we'll get a new one in 5 years. I'm not one of those kind of fans. I'm terrified of that. It has to happen now. It has to. But I'm terrified of that unknown. And I'm sad for the man. And it is.
Let me just say, we're about to get a bunch of comments in the comment sections. Thank you for the engagement. Oh, don't be sad for him. He makes $10 million a year. He's probably going to get a $56 million buyout.
I am.
Respond to that.
You can still be sad for rich people when they fail to achieve their greatest dream, right? Money, I bet he would give much of it back to just win a national championship here. I bet he would. And so as hard as it is to feel bad for a guy that probably has $100 million in the bank, he clearly is unhappy. He clearly has something. He has not achieved his dream.
No question.
And so how can you not feel bad for a guy like that, no matter how much money he's worth? And every time he says, I want this to be transformational, not transactional, the anti-Lane Kiffin type stuff, like I'm still drawn to that. I was a student when Paterno was the coach. I'm still drawn to that. And he has it. But it's over. I mean, it's over. It really is. And I've never seen the fan base so united in that thought, because you just can't lose to UCLA. You just can't. It's unlike any other loss. It's unlike any other loss.
I got to let Mailman have the last word. You got anything left for this segment there, Tengwall?
Got nothing.
Okay. No paywall, just Tengwall.
There you go.
There's a plug. Mike, take us out.
I mean, you can only do. I think the coaches have to forget about this last two games and just move forward. I don't know. You fix what's going on. You have to fix themselves and fix the players. And like you said, the locker room's probably not healthy right now. I mean, mentally healthy. They got to have somebody rise to the occasion and say, "Let's go, guys. We can do this. We can come back." And it's up to the coaches and the players, I think, to take control.
Wherever you go, there you are. And here we are. And whether we like it or not, and we certainly don't, there's still a job to be done. And the coaches are getting paid no matter what. Thanks so much, Sandy Barber. Thank you for that. So that's our piece on this for now. And we got to keep it moving. So let's hop to a break and keep it moving. We'll be right back.
This segment of the obligatory PSU Pregame Show is brought to you by us. For the Bloggy, visit forthebloggy.com/club to join the FTB Donors Club, the most direct way to support our efforts and receive a custom FTB bottle koozie as a thank you for your donation.
All right, so we're trying to turn the volume back up. We're trying to get a little bit more positive as we swing into the second half of the show. And no better way to do it than at the newest Happy Valley hotspot, talking to the owner, proprietor, our gracious host here at Happy Valley Live, Pat Romano. Pat, the place is open.
Yep.
People can come here, homecoming weekend, have a great time. Maybe forget about the last couple of weeks of Penn State football and the Penn Statiest place on earth.
Oh, yeah, homecoming is going to be great. We have hockey, the 9th and the 10th, okay? And it is hockey season in Happy Valley.
Yes.
It is hockey season.
We can do it like the '60s, where like coaches coach multiple sports, right? It's like Guy Gadowski can coach football if he wanted to. I think probably better than we're doing now.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it was rough. But
How you doing?
We had a good open here.
Yeah.
Did
That was nice.
you stopped by? You saw it was
I
nice.
did.
Yep. You stopped by.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see Kevin at all.
I was at the game.
Oh, that's right.
All week.
Yeah, it's in California.
So we tried to do a quiet open, and it's hysterical because, so people are like, your
It's
phones don't
quite
work.
the opposite.
We have,
Yeah.
we still have the phones in the box because a quiet open. Look, we're not taking the reservations. We only put it on Facebook, okay, and we sat back and said, all right, we're not even going to turn on the website yet. So people are like, we were Googling, we couldn't even find you. So this is part of what we did as a soft and quiet open. Well, statecollege.com got a hold of it. CDT jumped on it. The Gazette jumped on it. Somebody came in Saturday and said, hey, we saw you on Channel 6.
It's a good thing you didn't do a loud open.
Well, I said, I'd hate to see a grand opening, what you're going to do.
Well, you know what it was? You announced on our show that you're going to open
That's
last week.
you guys
and,
killed it.
and that's millions of viewers that are seeing that.
You killed it.
So at least you're going to get some people.
All 4 of those people came in.
Yeah.
I was
And 2 of them were me invited.
yeah. Oh, my God.
What I love about the place is that Happy Valley has been begging for a spot like this for a long time, where the minute you walk in the door, you know you're at Penn State, whether you're a local or a longtime fan or a visitor. And so it really, whether it is before or after the game or during, if you don't have tickets, which based on our assumption about what the environment is going to be like inside the stadium might not be the worst thing in the world. This is a great place to come watch it. But Pat, I know one of the reasons why this place feels so real and authentic is there is no one who bleeds as blue and white as you do. Not a fun couple of weeks here. Except if you're watching Guy Gadowski and Gavin McKenna and the hockey
Oh,
team.
man. I'll tell you, Friday night was rough, too, with volleyball.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for them because they've had some things that's not anybody's fault there. You know what I mean? And that's a rough one. But,
Well, it's our fault.
yeah.
The players' fault. Other than that,
Well, yeah, there's been some moves.
they fought. They beat Maryland the next day. It was fine. Sorry.
Sure. But, Nebraska was tough. They were tough. But
It's almost wrestling season.
You took the words out of my mouth. We have wrestling coming. Gavin's going to be everything that he looks like he was touted to be. That's going to be great. We're looking forward to all of that.
That's one of the best things about being a Penn State fan. If one sport hits a little bit of a speed bump, there's always another one that's doing great to pick you right back up.
Yeah.
Wrestling has done that for a lot of years.
Wrestling has definitely carried at least its share of the weight, probably a little bit more.
Guy came in to eat. Did I tell you?
No.
Yeah, Guy was here yesterday, and I thanked him graciously for salvaging what we could from the weekend. And he's just such a wonderful guy, literally. I mean, he's very humble, and for what he does, it's great.
That's a
Really
coach.
is.
No front teeth, just hard nose. I love that
Hockey,
guy.
man, like Slapshot. Remember the
Yeah.
movie Slapshot? It's like that's where he comes from, the era. It's good stuff.
So, Pat, as we get out of here, I got to get these guys in your random number generator, get Tengwall back on set. Not a lot of fun these last couple of weeks, but at the same time, You wouldn't have it any other way, right? You wouldn't be anything but a Penn State fan.
Yeah. I don't look back. I look forward to a blowout this week.
I like it. I like it. Give me, I'm about to make all these guys randomly generate numbers. I know I can always count on you to predict the Penn State win.
Yeah.
Give me a score prediction for this
49-3.
Beautiful.
If the crowd helps a little bit. If the crowd doesn't, otherwise they're just going to be like, the crowd doesn't deserve us to win 49-3. Those trips to the West Coast, we talked about this last year at the USC game. Before USC, we've never gone out there and won in those environments. And we had Rojas out. Their coach comes in. We don't even know who he is. There's nothing on him. He came out and just let the guy run wild.
You make as many excuses as our coach.
I do. Well, he made them at the quarterback club last week. I'm just repeating them. No, I'm only kidding. He didn't say any of that. What I'm saying is what I see. And there's reasons for things in this world. You know what I mean? And then there's what we call bad luck. When those reasons happen to the same groups over and over, they're just bad luck. And, they can't get over that hump.
You should want it.
I think he's going to still get over the hump, though.
How much more
We're going
money?
to make the playoffs this year.
How much more money, Pat?
We will make the playoffs because I'm telling you, we're going to beat Ohio State. This is the year.
You should have been a mailman. How much more money would you make if we just had Jed Fish or Kirk Signetti or anyone to give us hope again? There's going to be no one here.
I'm going to save you. Don't answer that question. You heard it here first. Penn State's making the playoffs. This is exactly what we should all be hoping for. I'll talk about it in the next segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There's going to be no playoff games. You're going to have to bank on hockey to make your money.
There you go, Pat.
Random Number Generator is brought to you by the good folks at ANTIFRAGILE Brewing Company. ANTIFRAGILE is the official beer supplier fueling the obligatory pregame show. ANTIFRAGILE brews incredible beer we all enjoy and recommend. And check out their Moody Culture Kombucha and fill up on Uncle John's Jawn's cheesesteaks. Check them out when you're in Happy Valley at 324 East Calder Way or anytime at antifragilebrew.com. And once again, we're sorry. Got to do Random Number Generator here from Happy Valley Live. Thanks so much to the official beer supplier of the obligatory PSU pregame show all season long, ANTIFRAGILE Brewing Company. Boy, we need it more than ever, boys. Allow me to posit a theory to y'all and get your reactions to start this segment, because who cares about Northwestern? We don't care about them any more than we did UCLA, except insofar as it's an even bigger catastrophic tire fire if we lose. There are still, at the bare minimum, what is promised to us, 7 games in this regular season. We got a roster full of kids who, or not kids, or whatever you want to call them. I'm always going to call them kids and think of them that way because I'm old and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've heard that, Mike. I don't know if it's true or not.
It's true.
They could have gone a lot of other places. They could have jumped in the transfer portal. They could have gone to the NFL. Almost to a man, they chose to put the blue and white back on for one more season. King Mac actually came back here.
They were paid to put the blue and white on.
Well, fair. Okay, fine. Everybody's getting paid. It's equal playing field. And instead, they're repping alma mater. And as frustrated as I am with the situation, and as checked out as I am on the coaching staff from the top down as they appear to be on this season and this team and us, I want to support those players. Let me just suggest that if you are somebody who agrees with us that it is time to move on in the head coaching position, you can align those two objectives. Because at the end of the day, the easiest, most financially feasible outcome for Penn State, so if you're somebody who wants James Franklin gone and you want what's best for Penn State, is for him to be marketable for one of these head coaching jobs that is going to come open. So the best thing you can have happen as a Penn State fan, including if you're somebody who wants James out of here, is for the Nittany Lions to win them all from here, go 10-2. Yes? No?
In a sense, but they're, well, yes, I want them to go 10-2. Obviously, I want them to go 10-2 for not just for James. Screw James. I want to go 10-2 so they still make the playoffs and beat Ohio State. But I also want a lot of things that I can't have, and that's one of them.
Yeah, we want to win every game.
You just look shell-shocked. I'm so sorry.
No, we want to win every game, obviously. Yeah,
and if we're 7-5, Florida ain't picking up the phone.
That is true.
No major job that comes open is picking up the phone.
He goes 10-2, no major jobs picking up the phone. If any program of any self-worth gets wind that James Franco's a finalist at their school, whether he goes 7-5 or 10-2, there's going to be protests on campus, revolt, property damage, arrests. It just won't happen. It won't happen.
Somebody will vandalize that rock at Tennessee.
And by the way, he's not getting fired. He's not getting fired this year. $50 million is too much. It's not going to happen.
The only way it happens at the end of the season. I do think though, if you do drop like 3 or 4 games here, I think you find a way. I'm sorry. I think if that happens, you find a way. I don't think that will happen. I think the most realistic outcome if for the people that do want James Franklin gone is that there is a mutual agreement at the end of the season that James has somewhere he wants to go. Penn State says, all right, cool.
Right. And he needs to be marketable, Landon, to a program that is willing to compensate him in a way that's comparable to what he's receiving at Penn State.
Yes, I do want to address people saying...
And hell, USF ain't hiring him if we're 7-5 at the end.
No, you are correct. And people are saying $56 million, that's nothing to all these boosters. I do want to be clear, too. That's a lot, first off. There's a reason why we struggled with NIL for a while. We're in debt with the stadium. There's a lot of things. Not only do you have to pay that 56, whatever very good coach you're getting, Signetti, you're bringing in Stein, you're bringing in whoever from Arizona, Dillingham from Arizona State, you're going to have to pay them, $80 million something? So it's not just the 56.
And pay their buyout.
Yeah, and then you got to pay their buyout. I mean, this is hundreds of millions of dollars you're talking, not just the $56 million for the people that want him gone today.
It's a good point that the fans really don't matter in this equation, like us fans. It's the people that actually have the money that matter in this equation. 99% of the fan base could be against him, but if the 10 richest people are still for him, then they're keeping him. And they're usually in the SEC, those kind of fans are the first to go. In a place like Penn State, the rich fans that are talking to the board, freaking Matt Schuyler, former board chair, was running out of the tunnel with the team in California, right? This is like weird stuff. Those kind of rich people that give millions of dollars are the last to fall at a place like Penn State. It's kind of a unique situation. But pros and cons to that kind of thing. But the fan base right now is almost unanimous, and we got to move on. But I don't know. The rich people don't tweet, is the point I'm making. Yeah. And so that's the call that's going to be made. And I don't know what they're going to think at this point in time. But yeah, the funniest move, Chris, is that Vanderbilt's having a pretty good year with Diego Pavia. Their coach is probably going to move on. The funniest thing is he ends up back in Vanderbilt, which is probably where he wants to be, which is all his friends are anyway.
It really is it's a perfect solution for everyone. Probably.
Yeah, but they also won't pay his buyout. So,
well, for them, just to be clear, for James to go somewhere else, to be hired by another program, the buyout to Penn State is nothing. It's like $3 million.
Yeah, right.
You love this talk.
Good, random.
This is what you signed up for when you showed up on the back porch 10 years ago.
Yes. I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute.
Me too.
Pitch your book, Mike. You're doing a book signing.
Yeah, buy Mike's book. Everybody buy Mike's book. People, Mike The Mailman book.com. Is that right?
I guess.
I just bought it on Amazon like I did drunk. You're doing a book signing Indiana weekend, right?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am.
Right. I won't be there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, no, neither will I.
New promo. If you listen to the podcast, you have the first promo. Second promo. If you buy Mike The Mailman's book after Indiana weekend and you present it to me at Anti-Fragile Brewing Company and it's not signed, so to prove that you did not attend Mike The Mailman's book signing, I'll buy you a beer.
Well, thanks, Kevin. You're so kind. You're so kind. But I also want to say, Kevin, you were right on with your prediction. You already have the 2 losses, right? All they have to do is win the next 7. You'd be right on.
Yeah, sure.
This is great.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
Right.
That's what we want.
I was going to say
you got to make him an attractive candidate for other jobs.
People in hell want ice water, as Chris likes to say.
I do. All right, so we got to randomly generate numbers. The most interesting thing I can say about Northwestern is that their quarterback will be making his 2nd visit to Beaver Stadium in the last 12 months. Preston Stone was, interestingly, a backup quarterback at SMU who chose to enter the transfer portal but stay with his team during the playoffs. A novel concept. And so
couldn't happen here.
He was, that's, again, we got 2/3 of the season left to go. A lot of content to fill yet. He was on the bench for the Mustangs, but he's making his second trip to Beaver Stadium. Again, if you care about the dynamics of Penn State versus Northwestern, I trust you'll have a little bit of good stuff for the folks over the course of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover Indiana and Oregon and Ohio State and Illinois.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Smart.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Smart. Okay, but it is homecoming week.
That's right.
And I understand there are a lot of fans out there who feel like what is going on here in Happy Valley is that we operate a $10 billion a year university to facilitate the existence of a $250 million fake professional football team. And if you want to be that kind of fan, God bless you. Like, we do not gatekeep here on Obligatory. As far as I'm concerned, I care about football and the program only insofar as it relates to the institution and the community and as an extension and representation of Penn State. So we want to go out on a positive note. So as we do our stupid, irrelevant, random number generator picks, I'm going to ask every one of you guys to also give the folks, give them a great memory from Penn State football.
Okay, that's good.
Let's give them a little chicken soup for the soul on the way out of here, because there's a lot. Fandom of this program, as frustrating as it can be, and it has been extraordinarily frustrating the last couple of weeks and over many periods over the last decade. It's given us a lot. Share one of the best ones as you give us your random number generator pick, Kevin Horne.
Well, I was going to go with one, but it is becoming less shiny in hindsight. 2016 Ohio State, one of the best nights of my life. There's probably 20 people staying with me downtown. We went downtown, not to the riots, but to the gathering, and then we went to the first. And then we were up till 5 a.m. Former third-string quarterback Shane McGregor, who did score a touchdown for Penn State at one point, came over to the apartment, and we were just reminiscing about like what this means and how quickly Penn State recovered. And that's all still true.
Wasn't he also calling plays for UCLA on Saturday?
Yeah, that's right. Same kind of hair.
It looked like Shane.
In hindsight, I wish we had lost that game, because then we wouldn't have delayed this separation for so long. Because that man has made $100 million on Marcus Allen's hand going in the air. And had that not happened, we would have got rid of him during COVID, and we'd be already into the second year here. So that's becoming less rosy. I think it's got to be the Rose Bowl Sean Clifford win. Which was the last game I cried at, only because I had been there in 2008 with my dad and saw us lose. I went there in 2016 and saw us lose. That game meant so much to me growing up. Listening to them, Musburger and Herb Street call it, and that game means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So to watch us win it, even though again it was cheap, we killed their starting quarterback and whatever. Still meant a lot to win that game in that moment in that stadium, and that's probably the high point of the Franklin era. For me, the only other option would be 2005 Ohio State, which I was one of my first games here, which was just pandemonium. But yeah, I'll go with that. You want me to do the random number generator?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. Peyton Stone's a better quarterback than Drew Aller, and at least in this system. It's going to be ugly this week. It really is. If you want to boo the team, I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm not going to do it. But I'm not going to judge you for it. When they put the player intros on the scoreboard and they get to James Franklin, Langhorne, Pennsylvania, the entire stadium, at least to the extent that there's people there, is going to boo. I think we get booed out of the tunnel. I think it's going to be an ugly situation. And I'm sad for that, because the players don't deserve that, and not even James Franklin deserves that, but I understand it, and I'm not judging you for it. And if you want to do it as an emotional release, you've paid to be there, and you get to do it. And by the way, if that impacts the team or the coach, emotionally, they should go seek help. They should see a psychiatrist, because that should, in the big time college football, it really should.
It is a game that requires and rewards toughness.
Yeah,
you got to show it. What's your RNG?
I don't know what that means, Chris.
Random number generator.
Oh, I think we lose 42 to 30.
There you go. All right.
And then you got to do it. Then I don't care. Look, we can build a stadium to have better bathrooms and chicken finger makers for $700 million. We sure as hell can find 50 to end it there.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention, as I've said online this week.
And then they just announced we got to go to Kinnick at night. So if it's not going to happen next week, and it'll happen the weekend after.
Fair. Quickly, I am never going to forget. I'm going to be eternally grateful for the 3/4 capacity crowd who on a cold, snowy day in late November 2012 showed up for a team that had no chance to go to a bowl game or do anything. All they had done was show the most fortitude and courage and guts of any football team in the history of the sport. And that team battled for 4 quarters against a Wisconsin team they had no business beating. And in overtime, it was Sam Ficken who put the last points on the board. As special as the 2005 season and the Ohio State game are to me, and that 2016 Ohio State game you talked about, Kev, I am never going to forget the storybook ending to the storybook season that the 2012 Iron Lions gave me as somebody who was there watching it live. And to me, that's what Penn State football is all about, always has been about, and make no mistake, always will be about. And so that's why I'm going to celebrate homecoming this weekend. And for that, Mike the Mailman, I'm going to pick the stupid Nittany Lions to win 24-17 in a game that makes me want to die through most of all 4 quarters. Go.
There are 2 games that I really enjoed, but they're earlier than when you guys have been around.
I mean, 1911 Bucknell was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good. I remember the Penn State and North Carolina. I think North Carolina State was ranked 3rd in the country, and there was a goal line stand Penn State, and Denny Oncott made an unbelievable tackle at the 3-yard line. That was probably my best moment there. I was watching the game. I said, "Wow, what a player, what a game!" That was my favorite game. Also, when Penn State beat Syracuse 14-12 after being behind 12-0, I wanted Joe Patrone. I think best wins he ever had. But as far as a random number, Northwestern beat UCLA by 3. UCLA beats Penn State by 5. Penn State win by 19.
So not a cover. It's 20.5 right now.
Not a cover. Yeah, not a cover. For me, it's not a moment that any of you know. I will take this moment to pay my gratitude to James Franklin, this program, of me coming here as a young 18-year-old kid, and James Franklin, Philip Troutwine, Dwight Galt, Chuck Losey, the whole gang instilled in me a work ethic and a mindset that I still use to this day, and still the reason why I'm sitting here, the reason why any of you, if you so choose to poorly follow me, sorry. But that is why I do what I do. The X's and O's is all the tip of the cap to Philip Troutwine. So my greatest memories are just, becoming more of a man at Penn State. Like I said, I give credit to all those people in the last football building for helping me get to that point and making me the person I am today.
Randomly generate numbers.
28-24 Penn State.
There you go. Very good. As ever, through thick and thin, now and forever, it is great, the best, to be a Nittany Lion. We'll be back with you next week from Happy Valley Live, which is now open. Come on down here if you're coming into town for homecoming, no matter the outcome. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are